Okay, we are live. Welcome in, everybody. I got new earrings that my little self picked out, and I am pretty excited about that. That's one of the things with little self work is once she gets to go shopping, then you're in for like a whole other world. um, so yeah, nobody's here yet, but I was going to get started with what I'm hoping to chat about today. Hopefully, people come and we get into some interesting conversations. Um, but I just wanted to touch on like wanting stuff. Like, like I used to feel so guilty for the things that I wanted, the things that I desired. I used to feel bad about myself, and I used to feel bad that I didn't have it and bad that I wanted it, and just all kinds of flavors of not being good enough and the shame. And what I've learned is that all the things that we want, it's because we're meant to have it. Like, that's why you want that. So, I remember being young, having such a huge desire for figure skating, ice skating. And I never had lessons, and I never, I learned how to ice skate enough, like on a pond or something, but I never did ice skating. I never took lessons in ice skating, but I would watch, for me, it was the 94 Olympics, and I would watch, people doing Oksana Bayul. That was, to be fair, like a very high drama Olympics. That was the Tanya Harding Olympics. But I remember watching it and just being like, I want to spin. I want to be smooth like that. I want to move on skates, and I want to, they look like they're flying. And I had such an intense desire for that, but like it wasn't going to happen, right? The lessons were not going to happen. And so, hi, welcome in. How are you guys doing? Who do we have in here? Madi? Uh, I am video recorded, yes. That is the whole deal with going live. And so that was like this childhood desire, and then I had all these dreams of all this ice skating that never happened, to the point where I would hear a song in my head and then I would start like doing all this choreography for like a sport I couldn't do that I had never done. And then hi Madi. And then I just picked up roller skating in my 40s, and now I have all the ways to learn that and to do choreography and to try and build myself up, right? So like all these years that I was like, oh, that's so stupid that I want to be a figure skater, because like that's never going to happen. And then now like it's just happening in a different way. So whatever you love, whatever you desire, like try not to feel bad about it. Try to like find your way to that thing, because you're probably meant to have it. So, welcome in to everybody who has shown up today. This is a channel for, uh, well, it's for a lot of things. Mostly it's for helping women who struggle with emotional eating. But last week I did help a carpenter realize that he wanted to become an Egyptologist. So, we do all kinds of things in here. And you just have to put in the chat what you want help with, because I can't see anybody unless they're writing in the chat. So if you have a question, if you have something that you're stuck on, if you just want to share, like, what's going on, then you are welcome to. And we'll just see if anybody's here who wants to talk, and if not, then I'll keep talking. Um, okay, I guess we'll just keep going. So yeah, this just ends up being like your desires are like really a connection to yourself. They are like a window into kind of your future life. And I think that's so powerful to be able to look at something that you want now. Like let's say for me, I was like, I just want to figure out how to roller skate. Like how do you learn that? How do you do that? And I just believed that there was like this version of me somehow somewhere in the future that had figured it out, and there were no coaches in my area and there was nobody around who could help me with it. And I ended up, meeting a Colombian roller skating coach on the internet who was like, "I'll help you." And now she does it remotely. So you just never know where those desires are going to lead. And that also ends up helping other people who love roller skating. And I flew her out and brought her in. And now a bunch of other people get to get better at that, right? So, so it just ends up being this circle of like it's you want something, it's not just going to benefit you. Like there's probably other people that are aligned with that, and you don't need to feel bad about the things that you want to achieve. You can just go and just do it. So what kind of stuff are you guys dealing with right now is usually the question. Um, so do you have stuff that you really want to do that you're like, oh, I feel stupid that that's what I want, or this thing that I want to do and I just can't shake it. I don't feel bad, or I do feel bad. Um, and hi, Lily. Welcome in. Hi, Double A. Welcome in. Welcome in. Uh, Elijah says, I need a new job after being laid off. It's been months. Okay. So you need a new job. Do you need any job, or do you need a job in your field, Elijah? Because those are tend to be two different things. Thank you, Double A. Yeah, being laid off and having to find work after that, that is very stressful. Um, so yeah, it's like, okay, well, where am I stuck? Like, what's the problem? Am I looking for a job at a certain price point and it's too that's too difficult to find. Uh, Wrote Paradox says, if you need a job, you will work anywhere you can. If you want a job, you will wait until you get a job you want. That's pretty good. That's true. Um, yeah, yeah, exactly. So, like, does it need to be like in your career, in your field at a certain salary point? Anita says, hello. Hi, Anita. Uh, I am in Canada, double A. Um, Michael says, marry a billionaire. I know a couple people who have gone the marry rich route, and it has other problems. Like, the guy will be like, you have to, like, basically do everything I say, and you have to get plastic surgery, and you have to, like, be home at this time, and you can't go anywhere without me. Like, there's other problems that come with marrying rich, apparently. I don't know. I didn't marry rich. Um, Anita says, I love your earrings. Thank you. I just got them. I'm so excited. I was so excited to wear them today. Uh, Rope Paradox says Canada #1 for real, for real. It is. It's pretty great. I'm very happy to be Canadian. Um, Lily, I don't know what that means. Oh, you mean the billionaire has power over you? Lily says he has power over you. Exactly. So the whole marry rich thing, it's like, yeah, if you meet a really great guy who happens to be rich and also loves you and mutual respect, but like if it's just you're marrying rich, like there's a whole other world that those women have to navigate, and it doesn't sound very fun. I know one woman where mandatory plastic surgery, nose job, breast implants, um, and they have like he has like pretty strict expectations on her body and that kind of stuff, and like it's just that's just not that doesn't feel good. That's not something that so yeah, Lily, you're right. That would be where he has power over you. So yeah, we don't want to be giving away our power, but yeah, getting a job in your field or getting a job at all can be a little stressful. Anita says I have school. Oh, are you in school, Anita? Yeah. Yeah, I did a lot of years of school. I did I think I graduated everything by the time I was 27. Um, so yeah, Rote Paradox says it's a choice. She doesn't have to give away her right to the rich man, so you could see it as she only does it because she wants the money. Yeah, I think a lot of women don't really know what they're getting into. They think they can handle it, and then they get into it and they're like, uh-oh. But you're right, it is her choice. Yeah, nobody's forcing her to be there. So yeah, and there's all these ways that we give our power away to people in all kinds of ways. So if you're prone to doing that, hi Sebastian. If you're prone to doing that, rote paradox, like then yeah, I mean that's why she's there, right? Because the money, like if he went broke, she wouldn't be there either. Um, but just things are a little more complicated than they would appear. And a lot of that stuff is hard to maintain, right? It sounds fun, but that's lonely. So yeah, so with school, Anita, are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling worried, or is school going well for you? I was always stressed in school. I always struggled in school, but I always did really well. But I like was pretty stressed about it. Um, Bader says, I assume hi. Hi, Bader. Yeah, and so this is back to what Rote Paradox is saying, like we can only give to other people what we have to give, right? So if you don't feel like you have anything to give to anybody other than your body, then yeah, like that might sound like a good deal for you. Um, but this is where a lot of people get stuck, is like trying to give things that they don't have. Anita says my school is going well, but my grades are so bad. Oh, okay. So you're struggling with like producing that academic result. Um, that's interesting that you say that, Anita, that my school is going well, but my grades are bad. Most people would I like the way you frame that, Anita. A lot of people would put school is not going well because grades are bad, but I like the way you put that. Um, yeah, so if your grades are bad, then that's like, okay, so what do I need? Like, what does my academic situation need? Um, and look at it that way, Anita. Like, do you need help? Do you need a tutor? Do you need support? Do you need more time? Do you need to talk to your profs? Rote Paradox says, if your only thing to the table is your body, maybe wait on the relationship and get to learn more about yourself to see what you're capable of to bring to yourself in the future relationship. That's very wise, Rote Paradox. I don't know how old you are, but that is a very wise thing to say. Exactly. If the only thing that you think you offer somebody is your body, then yeah, you should probably build up your self-esteem and learn more about yourself, right? Build see what you're capable of because everybody is capable of being more than just a body. That's kind of brilliant, Row Paradox, actually. Bader says no English. Okay, sorry. I don't speak Arabic. Michael says, "Did you get a D minus in science?" And Anita says, "Nope, I got a B minus." Okay, B minus isn't that bad. Yeah, I struggled a lot academically with like math and science when I was in high school, and I ended up having to get a lot of support, a lot of help, a lot of tutoring. Michael says, "You have a good voice. Maybe you should read audiobooks." Thank you, Michael. I actually have another channel where I read children's stories to the internet to help people calm down. So if you want to check that out, it's my first name Helmi and then Jung. It's called Storytime for Stressed Adults. Anita says, "Have you seen any animes?" Not super. I have friends who are super into it, but that's not my jam. But I love how anime fans are so into anime. It's exciting. Cassette says, "I just see you by surprise and you look beautiful." Thank you, Cassette. Thank you. I got new earrings. Do you like? Rote Paradox says, "I sucked in math and grammar." LOL. Some people have their strengths and weaknesses. For me, my strength is graphical designing. Wow. What is graphical designing? Rote Paradox. I don't think I even know what that is. Yeah, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses for sure. I was much more like history, English, French, and not the hard sciences. Cosette says, "Yeah, girl, it's so nice." Yeah, I thrifted these bad boys. They were brand new, but you can thrift a lot of things brand new. Graphical design is art using computers. That's cool. What kind of art? Like for video games or for like mock ups or like simulations or what kind of art is that? That's cool. That means wouldn't you have to be good at math to do that? That sounds like it would require a lot of math. Lucas says, "Hello, how are you?" I'm doing great, Lucas. Thank you for coming. How are you? Bader says, "Wah." Sorry, Bader. I don't know Arabic. Um, I love when people get into uh, careers that you didn't even know that it was a career. Like, what, and was that even a career 20 years ago? Like graphical designing, like building art with a computer? I guess it was. I guess it was. I'm dating myself here. Lucas says, thank you very much, Lucas. Thank you. I appreciate the respect. Um, and and yeah, like I love when people get into what they're into. When people are just like going for the joy of it and like just trying to figure it out or anime kids are like really into anime and it's like so fun listening to people talk about it. Raj says good morning. Good morning, Raj. Is it morning where you are in the world? Rote Paradox says I take commissions and create pretty much whatever my plan is. Oh, to eventually expand it to a clothing brand. Oh, so you would do like mock-ups of clothing design? Like for like ahead of time? That's cool. That's cool. So that is art, right? That is art. Is that not math? How do you do that without math? They've already designed it? Lucas says beautiful hair. Thank you. I don't have a lot of hair, but it is very soft and I'm very proud of the bits that I do have. Raj, I'm in Canada. Yeah. Um, where are you? Wherever it would be morning, I guess. Pretty far away, I'm assuming. Yeah. So the other the other piece of this is like is what it's actually what wrote Paradox already wrote, which I think like pretty brilliant actually. Is like capacity, right? Like what are you capable of doing? What are you able to do that you don't think you can do or that you don't think other people would value? And how can you find a way to expand on that and to feel like you really know how to develop yourself, right? Like life is too long to just sit there and be like, I did the same career my whole life and I don't know what else I can do. Rote Paradox says, yeah, just art using computers instead of crayons. I can't do physical art well at all. Really? That's fascinating. You know what? I make cakes and I decorate cakes beautifully, but I struggle with crayons and pencil crayons too with the same art. So like maybe it really is just an art form. That's cool. Anita says, "Why are you so tiny, streamer? You only have 5 people seeing this." Last week there was only 2, Anita, so I'm very happy that there's as many people here. Joanna's here. Joanna says, "I have a question." Please ask your question, Joanna. Rote Paradox says, "Everyone is capable of greatness. They just can't expect it to come for free. It requires blood, sweat, and tears to reach the end goal." Okay, like you're just dropping gems like left, right, and center here. Paradox, that's amazing. It's true. It's true. Everybody is capable of that, and people uh feel like they are not, but that's just how they feel. That's not reality. Joanna says, "Do I support LGBTQ?" Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Um Raj says, "What's your name?" My name is Helmi. Why do you ask, Joanna? Um, I sort of assume that goes without saying, but I guess these days it might not go without saying. But yes, 100%. Joanna says, "Yay," because I'm less. Okay, good. Yes, 100%. Love it. Thank you for that. You're welcome here. Absolutely welcome. Is that a question you have to check with people? That would be stressful to feel like that's not kind of going without saying, although I guess I'm in Canada, that's kind of less of a topic these days. Um, yeah, so Rope Paradox, like how did you develop this skill, or how did you like did you get trained in this like graphical designing, like because I think this is the question of like how do you develop yourself, like how do you follow that desire and say this is what I want, right? Joanna, earlier we were talking about following what we desire as something that's going to like be important for you and help other people. So there's always more at stake than just what you think is you think it's just, oh, that I just want that and my desire is stupid, and it's like no, there's other people who need you to get there. ROT Paradox says self-taught was too broke to pay for a class. Oh, so you just figured it out. Wow, lots of fails eventually teach you to do better. Okay, so you learned it the hard way then, which probably means you learned it better. Um, then yeah, then wow. So you're gonna be like a self-made like success story, ROT Paradox, when you get to that clothing brand, or like when you achieve that goal. Like this is all going to be from you just like being persistent, basically. See, that's what I love. I love when people find something and they're like, I'm just going to figure it out. And that determination, that persistence is usually the difference. Like the people who are successful, they just didn't stop doing it. They just found another way through it. They just did whatever they had to do to get through it. They just didn't give up, right? So that's very cool. Anita says, "I'm very good at football. One time I lift the ball up and dribble in midair." Okay. Wow. By football, I assume you mean soccer. Um, wow, that's cool. Okay, have fun. Good. I love roller skating. That's my thing. Which I just found out about like less than a year ago. So, yeah, I love when people pursue sport that they love. ROT Paradox says failing is better than not even trying to do it at all. You know what they say, you miss all the shots you're too scared to take. Sure, it's not guaranteed to hit, but when it does, oh boy, does it feel good. Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, and people, okay, the first of all, that's like gold, ROT Paradox, that's amazing. But like people are scared to fail and they think that failure means something. And all failure means, going back to the beginning, is that you need to develop more capacity, right? And sometimes you need to develop more capacity to fail. And that's the thing. Joanna says, can I get an amen? Mr. Sam says, yes, and amen. Exactly. Like, failure doesn't mean anything. This is what I've learned about failure. Failure is just proof of expansion. If you're failing at something, it's because you're trying to exceed your current comfort zone and your current capacity. Like, you don't go to tie your shoes in the morning and then fail, right? If you're failing at something, it's because you're trying to push yourself beyond what you can already do. And, um, like, then this means that you are doing something that you don't normally do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be failing at it. So it's just failure is just feedback of like, oh, you were getting to the end of that comfort zone. You're getting to the end of your capacity and you're expanding. Joanna says, "No, this is the bathroom heroes. Yeah, this is for the the heroes of the girls' bathroom, which is a thing that Joanna and I came up with a couple weeks ago. Um, yes, I am. Thank you, Kareem. Kareem says I'm intense. Yes, I am intense. Um, so ROT says failure is growth. Every successful man and woman failed thousands of times before they hit their success, whether it be money, family, skill, or even happiness. Are you coming up with this stuff yourself or are you like finding this somewhere? Like that's beautiful. Like failure is absolutely growth. ROT Paradox. That's amazing. Yeah, and getting comfortable with failure, right? Getting comfortable with just like failure is just feedback of like, oh, got to try a different way. Um Anita says, I'm a lazy person, and the more I fail, the more I learn, and you don't always get to stay in the box. Wow. Anita, that's a great attitude. That's a brilliant attitude on failure that, like, the more you fail, the more you learn. I learn way more from failure than I do from success. Absolutely. Like, failure absolutely gives you more data points of, like, okay, so what went wrong and how do we fix it? Um, Weakness is the tax you get for chasing strength. Hmm. Okay, Kareem, that's cool. I haven't heard that before. That's very interesting. Um, Joanna says, I like to talk. Me too, Joanna. You're in the right place. How was your week, Joanna? I haven't talked to you in a bit. How have you been doing? Mr. Sam says, you need to learn to be happy in all things. Absolutely. You need to learn to enjoy whatever it is you're doing. That is one of the secrets. Kareem, it's in my description. Um, I help women who struggle with emotional eating, which means that they like eat their feelings. They eat too much. They don't want to eat. But I also help people get unstuck who are stuck in life somewhere. Last week it was a carpenter who we helped realize his real dream was to be an Egyptologist. And we got him unstuck there. So there you go. There's a lot of things, but is it like therapy? It's like a support group, Kareem. It's like giving people support. Yeah. Um, yeah, Mr. Sam, you need to be learn to be happy in all things. That is, that's like one of the secrets to like all the things that, when people talk about manifesting and, raising your vibration, it's like if you can learn to be happy in all things, if you can learn to enjoy whatever you're doing when you're doing it, like life gets so much better. Life gets so much easier. Joanna says, lovely. I've been having a great time with my girlfriend. Oh, yay. Good. I love that, Joanna. How about you? Yeah, great, great couple weeks. Beautiful. Um, Kareem says, I'm stuck too. What are you stuck on, Kareem? Maybe I can help. Um, Mr. Sam says there's only 2 teams. Okay, I'm excited if you're going to follow up, Mr. Sam, with what those teams are. Kareem says I'm stuck because because I can't take my eyes off you, girl. Well, thanks, man. Kareem says you're beautiful. Keep doing your thing. I will. Thank you so much for dropping in, Kareem. Anita says your voice sounds like my mom. Okay. Well, I'm probably old enough to be your mom, Anita, if you're still in school. Okay, Sam's dropping the 2 teams, good and evil. Okay. And which one is happy, Sam? Joanna says we've been together for 5 months. Woo, that's a while. How's that going? That's like kind of, you're getting past the honeymoon stage there. That's exciting. 5 months. NMJ Combat says hi, hello. ROT Paradox says you don't look a day over 20. Don't lie to us. That's very generous. I am 41. So several days over 20. ROT Paradox. Hi, NMJ Combat. Hello. Hi. I'm saying hi to you. Yeah, so one of the ways that you can, Lily says, wow. Hi, Lily. Are you saying wow? Oh, because of my age. Okay, I don't look as old as I am on, well, I was going to say on camera, but I guess I don't really look in real life either. Wear your sunscreen, folks. Wear your sunscreen. That's all I can tell you. So yeah, what I like to do is an inventory. Like an inventory for myself of what do I have and what do I need more of. So that's like a way to see like where do you want to start developing yourself. ROT Paradox says I'm 23 and look 17. So yeah, when I was 23 I looked like I was 12. Yeah. So and it was very annoying because nobody thought I was a grown up. ROT Paradox says it'll be worth it in the future though. It's true. It really does pay off in the future. Mr. Sam says, wow, 41. Thank you, Mr. Sam. Yeah, it is annoying when you're young and you look so much younger and then no one takes you seriously. And then I was like, oh, I'm really looking forward to aging. It's just happening very slowly. Joanna says, good. We went out for dinner earlier today. I paid for it. We had a great time. We went out and got some ice cream and had a sleepover. That sounds amazing. Joanna, that sounds like the best day ever. Malayara says I'm Brit that I you think I'm British? No, I'm Canadian. Uh, no, Canada, Canada, not UK. Joanna, I'm so happy for you. That's the best day ever. I'm thrilled. Good for you. Keep having those days. You keep taking her out. You keep spoiling her. Girls like that. We like to be spoiled. We like to have somebody, you know, take us out somewhere nice. It's easy to lose that as the years go by in a relationship. So you try and hang on to that. Um, Malayara says, anyway, you look like the singer Katy Perry. That's a new one. I haven't gotten that one before. Thank you. Steven says, positivity is bliss. It really is. Joanna says she's here right now watching us. Hi, Joanna's girlfriend. Hi. Um, yeah, I used to be super negative. I used to look at my life and just see my problems, and then I would just end up with more problems. And I didn't know there was something called solution based thinking, and problem based thinking. So, problem based thinking is where, like, look at my problem. I don't have enough money. Look at all the money I don't have enough of. Look at how I don't have enough. And you just fixate on that all the time, and you're just always looking at the problem, and then you're feeling how bad the problem is. Solution based thinking is where you look at what's going well in your life and what's working. And then you put energy into, okay, look at this part of my life that's going well. She said hi. Perfect. Thanks, Joanna. Anita says, I gotta go, but I hope you like all my comments. Yes, I like your comments. Thanks, Anita. Bye. So yeah, so solution based thinking is actually really, really powerful because it creates that positive focus. And then as you look at what's going well in your life, you'll find that like there's more and more things to notice. And I always like to use the example of if you own a couch. If you own a couch, then things are going well in your life. Something's working if you own a couch, right? So really like enjoy it, look at that couch and be like, yeah, okay, what did I do right? Because I own a couch, so something's got to be going well. ROT Paradox says negativity is weakness, positivity is strength. There's the easy choice and the hard choice. Choose wisely, and the results will follow along with the decision. Mm. The, I'm just like, are you coming up with this stuff, ROT? Like, that's amazing. Negativity is weakness because you're focusing on a problem and that's going to create more problems. Yeah, Malia, don't uh, improve your skills. Yeah. Joanna says she said you're pretty. Aw, thanks, Joanna's girlfriend. Love that. Does she like my earrings? Um, yeah, so the negativity is just going to create more negativity. And it took me decades to realize this that, like, the bad, heavy, low feelings are just going to create more bad, heavy, low feelings. And at a certain point, like, nothing changes if nothing changes. Like, you have to decide to change it. Decades. Yes, I am older than I look. We're having this conversation again. Um, uh, I developed that mindset when I found God and I don't regret it a day since, says ROT Paradox. Okay, there you go. Anthony, you're here. Hi. Hi. My age is 2 decades maximum. Four decades, Abu. 4 decades. 41. Um, oh, your girlfriend has earrings like this, Joanna? Okay, awesome. I love the gradation, the color going up into pink. Good evening, Anthony. How was your week? Thank you for coming. Did you have a good week? Was it super busy and stressful in healthcare again? I hope not. I hope it was pretty good. Abu says, "Damn, get out of here." Yes, thank you, Mr. Sam. Yes, I'm 41. Thank you for thank you for the chat getting everybody up to speed. Um, yeah, wear sunscreen. Um, yeah, so what is this site? She's so sweet. Oh, I love that, Joanna. I'm so happy for you. Anthony says very busy, but we made it through the week. Um, okay, good. I mean, making it through the week. That's key. That's step one is survival. I hope you're taking care of yourself, Anthony. That's one thing I worry about is that you are that it's hard for you to take care of yourself when you're that busy and stressed. Abu says I'm 48. I look like I look like your grandfather. I'm sure that's not true, Abu. Um, I People age at different rates, right? It, like yeah, people look all ages look different, and also people are getting younger, aging younger. Like when we were in the do you remember the 80s, Abu? And then like remember what 40 was in the 80s? You were like kind of considered old. And then I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to be 40 soon. I'm going to be old." And then I hit my 40s and I was like, "Okay, like I'll take it. I can handle it. What do I eat?" Well, actually, Abu, interesting that you asked that because this channel is to help women who eat emotionally, and I used to eat a lot of garbage. I used to eat a lot of sugar, used to drink a lot of alcohol, used to eat a lot of junk food and takeout and fast food and drive-throughs and that kind of stuff. And I just stopped all of that, like in February maybe, and learned how to eat what my body actually wants instead of what my emotions wanted. So that was exciting. Joanna says, I have a baby blue champagne suit. And she has a dress version. Okay, can I just say, have you seen the movie A Simple Favor, Joanna? Blake Lively in menswear changed my life. Like, whenever women wear menswear, I just think that's amazing. Uh, Abdul says, how are you, my sister? I'm doing great, Abdul. How are you? Anthony says, really enjoyed your latest roller skating short. You're getting really good. Ah, thank you, Anthony. Yeah, because I posted when I could only do the spin off of that. And now I'm actually up to the jump. So I'm super excited. I got that jump and I was like, I gotta follow up. Like I gotta share with people that like I'm making progress. Thank you, Anthony. Guido says you are very nice. Thank you, Guido. ROT Paradox says, huh, fast food is so good. I wish I could gain weight for my gym bulk, but 4K, oh my God, 4,000 calories daily and you're still losing. So you're a hard gainer. Hard gainer. Yeah, that is a whole other problem. That's like you got to put nuts and peanut butter and everything and like load up on like fat and yeah, 4,000 calories is 4,000 calories of healthy food is a lot of food. Um, in the 80s, seriously, says Abu, I don't remember what I ate this morning. Okay, well, I've always had a pretty good memory, I think, but I was trained as a historian, so I'm always looking back. Maybe it's better if I focused on just today. Anthony says you can roller skate on only 4 wheels. Wow. Well, there are 4 wheels per skate. I mean, oh yeah, you're talking about when I did the manuals when it was like 1 foot up, 1 foot back. Oh my God, that is so hard. I can't believe how hard that was. But yeah, I posted it when I finally was able to do it. ROT Paradox says the cut will be crazy if I can gain 15 pounds by March. 15 pounds of muscle, or mostly muscle, is a lot. It's easier for men, but still, that's a lot. So yeah, switching to a cut after 4,000 calories, you're gonna upset your system for sure. You're gonna be hungry. Joanna says, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, is your girlfriend one of the girls' bathrooms heroes too, Joanna? Is she that personality that's gonna jump in when girls are crying in the bathroom? Or is she like in and out? Um, who's my fave African American? Like person or celebrity or rapper or um just a person who's my favorite? In general, I freely admit to my Lil Wayne fascination. I really love Lil Wayne. I love his voice. I love his vibes. If that's what we're talking about, I don't know if we're just talking about like people I know. But yeah, I love Wayne. Also love Eminem. Like, oh my God, he's amazing. Um, it's just endless with Eminem. I mean, it's endless with Wayne too. Pegasus said, hi, hi. Gym is one of the best forms of therapy for sure. Yeah. anything that gets your blood pumping is going to help for sure. I love strength training. Joanna says that actually is how we met in school. You met her in school because you're both bathroom heroes. I love it. Joanna, that's amazing. Um, I love that. I love when girls help each other. If you're a boy and you don't know, the law is that if you're in the girls' bathroom, like somebody's gonna help you. Somebody's gonna be supportive. Like nobody's gonna be mean in the girls' bathroom. Abu says, "Hey, I'm a pharmacist. We have a memory of steel, but I but I believe it's only for drugs." I was gonna say, if you're a pharmacist, you must have a lot of stuff memorized, Abu. But yeah, I guess maybe all your brain power is taken up with your job, and you're just really good at your job, and then you don't have any left for your regular life. Um, yeah, ROT Paradox says gym vibes are good. A lot of positivity in the gym. The gym bros are the nicest dude. Oh my God, they're so nice. When I started going to the gym, I was so intimidated, and I didn't even want to cross into the part of the gym where all the weights were, and I was just staying on the cardio side. And the gym bros were like, "Come on over, like we'll teach you, we'll show you," and it was amazing. Like it was one of the best things that could have happened. Uh, ROT Paradox says pharmacists also have evolved the ability to read doctors' writing. That's true. I don't actually know how they do that. Abu, do you have any secrets in the industry of how you read doctors' writing? Doctors are, I don't know why doctors have such bad handwriting. Joanna says, I asked her to homecoming and she said yes, and that's why I have my suit and she has her dress. Okay, so you guys are going to look like perfect matchy matchy. I love it. Double A says, you have such an awesome vibe and very gorgeous. Subscribing. Thank you for subscribing, Double A. That's awesome. Yay, everybody come in and get some positivity and get some joy and get some sparkly earrings. You know, I think the world could use more sparkle. Um, RT Paradox, I think it's because their brain is over capacity on all the doctor knowledge. They forgot basic grammar. I mean, it's just even like holding the pen seems like chicken scratch. But yeah, maybe you can't have it all. That's okay. We already talked about this earlier that everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. And as long as the pharmacists have figured out how to decode it, then it's okay. The system works, right? Um, Joanna says she's so beautiful and sweet. Yay. Okay. Uh Abu says Eminem, African American. Am I that old already? No, we were talking about I said that I love Lil Wayne, who's an American rapper, and then somebody else said they love Eminem, and then I was like, I also love Eminem. Mr. Sam, thank you, Mr. Sam. How's your night going? How's your Sunday? Assuming it is Sunday wherever you are in the world. I guess it could be tomorrow if you are somewhere else. Um, Brian says my strength is it's my biceps. Yeah. You know, we talked earlier today, Brian, about how we're all more than our bodies. So if you feel like that's your only strength, then you might need to keep looking. But that's also a strength. Uh, Abu's a pharmacist, and he says we just act like we can read their writing. So there's no actual system for decoding that. Okay, okay. Well, then, I mean, you must be doing something right, Abu, because it seems to always work out. Mr. Sam says good, said he's doing well. Joanna says I spoil her so much. Yeah, good, good. I love that. I love when people are like, you know what? You're the best. Why don't I make you a cake? Why don't I take you out? Like, let me just show you that gratitude. Let me show you how special you are. Like, I love when people do that. Anthony says doctors' writings are hieroglyphics, the same type of writing as in ancient Egypt. And Anthony would know because he studied ancient Egypt for a year. Um, so yeah, so that's what, um, yeah, Joanna says me too, right? You like the way that it feels when somebody appreciates you, right? Because we all want to feel seen. We all want to feel valued. We all want to feel like somebody is like, you know what you specifically would love? Not just the thing I do for everyone, but like I was listening the other day when you said that you really want to, you know, go play paintball. And like, guess what I booked this weekend? Like, we're all going to play paintball. Um, so yeah, so it's just like life is short. Like let's express that gratitude. Let's express that joy. Um, Hayed, no, I do not. I do not have a Slavic background. Um, so yeah, so this is oh, Joanna studied ancient Egypt too. Okay, there you go. So the point is that as we're moving forward, as we're trying to connect to each other more, we want to be like expressing that gratitude, expressing that connection and that compassion, that kindness, like seeing the people in our lives and really giving them what's going to make them feel seen. Abu says, my brother is a doctor, and I always tell him that in every family, there's an AH gene which keeps jumping until it falls in the chromosome of whoever is going to be a doctor in that family. So there's doctors in every family. Is that true? Just keeps jumping every generation, every couple generations. ROT Paradox says you only live once. There's no point in reminiscing in the past and being too focused on the future. Live in the present and enjoy the little moments. Because all we have is the present. ROT, everything you post is like bang on. I love it. Yeah, and I found it really hard to stay in the present moment. That's why I drank a lot of alcohol. That's why I ate a lot of sugar. I found that sugar made me nostalgic and took me back to the past, and alcohol sped up time and took me to the future because I just found it really difficult to sit in the present moment. And so I was using other things to cope with that difficulty of like I just can't sit here and be in this moment, in this now moment, with whoever I'm with. Like I just was like, no, I can't just sit here and enjoy it. And then when you learn how to enjoy the moment, I was like, oh, okay, now that I feel safe in this now moment, I don't need the thing to speed up time or make me nostalgic and take me back to the past. Um, Dawn says, hello. You look like a character from a movie where the woman lost her husband and now the story revolves around her. Thank you. I think, Dawn, that's I've never gotten that before. That's new. That's funny. Abu says this is ironic. I came from Egyptian descent. Seems like I am meant to be a pharmacist. Is that like a stereotype, Abu, that Egyptian people go into pharmacy? Brian says, gotta stay zen. Yeah, Brian, you do, but it's harder than it sounds. Like it really is harder. And Anthony's back to the King Tut exhibits. Yeah, that there's a lot of death around them. Allie says, hey, I'm new. Please shout me out. I'm Allie. Hi, Allie. Do you like my earrings, Allie? I just got them. I'm super excited. Thanos was right, says Sup from the UK. Sup, Thanos. Um, John says, I like your earrings. Reminds me of my first experience of a litmus test in lab. Oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because that is the strip goes these shades of pink. Oh my God, that's so funny. Now that's all I'm ever going to think when I look at them. That's hilarious. That it is like a gradation of pink on the litmus test. Oh man, I haven't thought about a litmus test since like grade 11 biology in like the 90s. That was a while ago. A while ago. Um yeah, so the Zen thing is like um is hard to it's hard to hold, Brian. Brian says, "You seem Swedish in origin or Norwegian maybe. Am I in any way right? You're almost very right and also almost very wrong." Hussein Hussein says hello from Pakistan. Hi. Um I'm half Finnish, like from Finland, which is near Sweden and Norway, but is ethnically more descended from like Mongolia than anywhere else. So close, very close. Although apparently Finnish people and Swedish people have like major beef and they like kind of hate each other. So there's all this geopolitics. Every time if you tell a Finnish person they look Swedish, apparently they get very offended. I'm not super sure about it. But yeah, Brian, I mean, you're close. Yeah. When I went to Iceland, they spoke to me in Icelandic, and I was like, "Why are you talking to me in Icelandic? I don't understand what you're saying." And then I was like, "Oh, it's because they think that I'm from there because I look kind of Scandinavian." Abu says, I'm not a big fan of my grandpa's pharaoh's history. I might be only interested in their gold if they just shared some with me. I think they've looted all the gold. I think that's really what a lot of the Egyptian history was just grave robbing. ROT Paradox says, recognizing when you need help and most importantly, are ready to do progress to help yourself is the first step to organize change, control over chaos, and you shall prosper. I mean, yeah. Like, are you just rattling these off the top of your head, ROT Paradox? Like, that's amazing. Um, a lot of people find it really hard to ask for help, actually, and they get stuck and then they feel like they have to stay stuck. And that's why I have this channel because I help people get unstuck. So if you need help, put it in the chat. Katanga says hello. Hi, Katanga. Dawn says, first of all, apologies. You invested so much effort and time in getting ready. You look spectacularly beautiful. Thank you, Dawn. Like the main character of a movie where her husband died. I'm gonna tell everyone you said that. That's amazing. Thank you. It doesn't actually take that long, uh, but I appreciate that. The thing that took the longest was figuring out what sweater to wear that would be fuzzy and warm, but not look like I'm just wearing a hoodie, which I often am on this. On this, I go live every Sunday night at 7 Eastern, and I was like, what's a thing I could wear that would look better than a hoodie but feel the same. So thank you, Don. Anthony says, please like and subscribe to support the channel. Oh, yeah, I always forget to say that, Anthony. Thank you. Yes, please like and subscribe to support the channel. If you're at all interested in my content, which is getting people unstuck from negative cycles. Mr. Sam says, where are you located? I'm in Canada. Mr. Sam, where are you? ROT Paradox says, best way to get unstuck is to take your first step forward. And if it's only a half step, it's still progress. Don't give up, as that's when the quicksand will swallow you. Wow. Yep. Just any forward momentum, ROT Paradox, any forward movement at all is going to help, is better than staying the same. Mr. Sam says Florida. Okay. I love this about Americans. Whenever you ask an American where they're from, they'll say a state or a city. If you ask anyone else in the world where they're from, they'll say a country. So that's like one of the fun things I've observed. Aaron says, hi from, I'm from Lima, Peru. Ah, hola. ¿Cómo estás? Brian says, if I was stuck down a water well, could I help you then? Probably not. Probably not. I don't have a lot of logistics talents. Don says, I would like to appreciate your ability to read and comprehend the chats accurately because I've experienced some live streamers who misread. Uh, yeah, and trust, I'm not kidding. Okay, yeah, it is a skill. Being like that literate as it's moving is definitely a skill. I used to be a high school teacher and I had to learn to be quick on my feet because it's hard to get it's hard to get the kids' attention and it's hard to keep their attention. So maybe that's where I picked up on that. Abu says, I need help. How can I get rid of my mother-in-law? With boundaries, Abu. Boundaries. Arian says, what's your job, ma'am? Oh, I got a ma'am. See, this is how you know I'm in my 40s, guys. I'm getting ma'amed. My job is to help women who struggle with emotional eating. Arian. So yeah, so what else do we have here? Sam says between Tampa and Gainesville. Okay. Okay. Is that the north of Florida? Abu says Canada. Yes. I'm not sure how to interpret that emoji, but I like being in Canada, if that's your question. I like being Canadian. Yeah, Arian. And also, I help people get unstuck. I'm a coach who helps people get unstuck, just in general. Dawn says, I see. When I was a kid, I really liked my teachers, and now I'm an adult. I'm wanting to have a partner who's a teacher because teachers are one of the best chaos managers, and life is chaos. You know what, Dawn, you're giving me newfound appreciation for my former teaching career. I never thought of that, but that's true. Teachers are one of the best chaos managers and life can be very chaotic. That is that's cool. Yeah, just be careful of having a partner who's a teacher, Dawn, because they're probably exhausted and overworked. Arian says, hope you succeed every day. Thank you, Arian. I hope that you do too. Brian says, you look in your 20s, still got that glow. Thank you, Brian. Wear your sunscreen. That's the only thing. Wear your sunscreen. Bobcat One Man Band says, are you a human being? Yes, I am a human being. Is that what a non-human being would say, though? That's the question. Are you asking if I'm AI, Bobcat? I'm definitely not AI. Arian says, thanks. Bobcat says, if you don't ask, you'll never know. Okay. So I hope I answered that for you then. Abu says boundaries. Yeah, sure. Yeah, not boundaries with your mother-in-law, Abu. If that's, I didn't get a chance to explain that. Boundaries with your wife. If we're talking about it, because it's her mother, right? So it's you going to your wife and saying, this is not, this is not okay with me. This is not how I want to live anymore. Like, this is what I need, and I need you to support me. And then it's up to your wife to manage her relationship with her mother. Dawn says, I take my words back. You're not the character whose husband dies, but you're the character who helps a struggling character reach their goals. He says, you remind me of Miss Honey from Matilda. That's the biggest compliment I've ever gotten in my entire life. I'm so happy. Oh my God. Dawn, I love Miss Honey from Matilda. I am. I am the one helping the people get there. That's literally my whole channel. that's absolutely what it is. Um, oh my God. Can I screenshot that compliment? That is incredible. Is it gonna let me screenshot? Okay, no, I'm just gonna remember that you said that. Dawn, thank you so much. Seriously. I love Miss Honey from Matilda. Doesn't everybody want Miss Honey? Like, just you want somebody to be like, it's gonna be okay. You're doing a great job. That's what we want. Abu is in Edmonton, I assume. Let's go Oilers. ROT Paradox says chaos cannot be managed as chaos consumes all. Put chaos behind, bring forward routine, organization, and control your bad urges. Okay, that is a long list of things to do, but I see where you're going with that ROT Paradox. Dawn says, me too. I just love her selflessness and the way she carries herself. She's like my ideal partner since I was a teen. Oh my God, me too. Miss Honey. Like, just, it's her gentleness, right? It's her compassion. It's her kindness. And yet, she's not going to be walked over. Like, she's still going to stand up for Matilda. And yeah, the way she carries herself with just so much warmth, you know. And for many years I deprived myself of that, and I was cold and hard and aggressive and struggling, and I just thought that life was meant to be cold and hard and struggly and stressful. And now that I can give myself that warmth, Dawn, I can give it to other people. Now that I can give myself that compassion, I can give that to other people. And myself that connection, and I can give the connection to other people. So we really, going back to the beginning of this, you can only give what you have to give. So it's always coming back to that inventory of like, for kindness, for capacity, for connection. Like, what am I capable of, and how can I develop more? How can I bring more of that to myself, more compassion to myself, so that I have more to give to other people? And we can't give to other people what we don't have. So I'm just, I can't believe you said Miss Honey from Matilda. That's the best compliment ever. Arian says, I have a question. What's the difference between Canada and the United States in language? Technically nothing, Arian. We all speak English. Canada also speaks a lot of French, which I speak as well. Just accents. There's some dialects of English that shift. There's parts of Canada that speak English that's very hard to understand from to other places. So John says you're really warm and you have a light in yourself, which you're giving to others who need it and are in dark right now. And what's beautiful is that you're the one giving your light, but radiating more. Oh my God, Dawn, like, what? How do you know me? That's amazing. That is exactly how I feel. That I just want to help other people. But then the more I help other people, the more I have to help them with. I don't know, like the glow just keeps going. And I just want to go back for all the people who are still miserable, who are still struggling, because I remember how bad that felt. And I just want people to know that, like, the first step to feeling better is giving yourself what you wish other people would give to you, right? Give yourself that gentleness and that compassion and that kindness that you're waiting on other people to give. Dawn, thank you so much, and thank you for coming tonight. I think I'm glowing because of this Miss Honey situation, but I love it. John says, I mean, in future, you won't be needing the background glow because your own glow will radiate the whole room. My God, Don, I'm blushing now. Oh, this is, that's amazing. Anthony says, Canadians say a lot of A, Americans don't. That's another difference. It's true. Same language, just different expressions. Abu says, you have a radio anchor sound quality. Gotta go talk to my wife about boundaries with her mom. Wish me luck to find a spot in emergency room tonight. Abu, good luck. And remember, your needs are valid and you can have a safe conversation. Yeah. ROT Paradox says, you are like a lighthouse. You help people from crashing and sinking. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. that's that's why I'm here. I just want to help. I I used to live in the dark. ROT Paradox. I used to live in the dark and the gloom and the cold, and I was miserable, and I made people around me miserable, and I blamed other people for why I was miserable. And now that I'm out of it, I'm like, oh, it was me. I was the drama. I was the problem this whole time, and I can make it better for myself. So then that means everybody else can too. Brian says you can't pour from an empty cup, as they say. Oh my God, that is so true, Brian. You really have to find a way to fill yourself up first. I call it being self full instead of selfless. That you start your day with what's going to fill you up. And then in the end, that allows you to be more generous to other people. I don't like the word selfless. I think self-full is like a better direction for that. Dawn says, you know, it's a vibe. I have a strong sense where I can sense the true vibe of the other. And I just saw you talking and caught the vibe and spoke to my heart. Aw, Dawn, well, I'm so glad you're here. That's so cool. That's so cool that like I sent out a signal and you picked it up. Abu says, hey, we don't say A, and not all of us like Justin, either Bieber or Trudeau. Yes, Abu is in Canada as well. Yeah, it depends where you are in Canada. I'm on the east coast of Canada, and it's a very distinct dialect here. Anthony says, Abu, don't worry. I'll help you out in the emergency department because he works in healthcare in Canada. Brian says, I fill myself full of Guinness sometimes. That can also help. Yeah, you know, if that's where you're at, Brian. That's where you're at. ROT Paradox says, I was in the dark at a point too and realized that I had to take control of my life. Otherwise, the void would have consumed me. And I had to rush into chaos and manage to find that light through the tunnel. Wow. So you get it, ROT. Is that where you're getting all this wisdom from? You learned it the hard way? Arian says, I'm so happy to talk to you. See you later, homie. Bye, Arian. I go live every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern if you ever want to pop back in or like or subscribe. Dawn says, so in Matilda, lovely Miss Honey didn't find any partner, but has this beautiful Miss Honey found someone lucky? Yes, Dawn, I celebrated my 18th wedding anniversary last week. Well, I guess technically it was this week. So yes, I have been married for a very long time. Well, not very long, but 18 years. It's been a minute. It's been a while. So ROT, you're getting this from like again the same way you got your graphical design training, right? Just like from hard experience. Anthony says, "Congrats, thank you, Anthony, thank you." Yes, that was a good one to make it to. ROT Paradox says, through blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah. Well, you know what I hope for you, ROT Paradox? I hope that that it gets easier. I hope that less of your life needs to go through blood, sweat, and tears. Now, it sounds like you've struggled enough. Sounds like you've had a hard enough time trying to pull yourself out of where you've been. And I wish you ease. I hope that you can learn to absorb ease and having things come to you without so much stress. Because you don't deserve to keep living like that. You've done your work. You're good. Dawn says 18 years is very long, and it actually tells a lot about you. I mean, I'm quite sure you look younger than you are, and that's because we are outside what we are inside. Thank you, Dawn. Yeah, I think that people age how they feel. Um, and a lot of people feel old, and so then they look older. And I try to I try, I try to keep myself feeling young and feeling happy, so that I get to enjoy my life, because I haven't had a chance to enjoy a lot of these decades. It's been a lot of I was in ROT Paradox's place of just crazy amounts of stress and chaos and darkness and being overwhelmed. Um, Dawn says, how do you manage stress and anxiety? I have a little magic. I go to my little self. I have my inner child, and I go to her and I'm like, what do you want to do? What do you think is fun? And she'll be like, I want to bounce. I want to swing. I want to spin. And I'll be like, let's do it. Like, let's go and do the thing that's going to make you feel happy right now. Sometimes she wants to watch mermaid shows. Sometimes she wants sparkly earrings like this. Sometimes she wants to jump on the trampoline. Like, that's how I manage stress and anxiety, is I go right back to my little self and be like, what do you think would be so fun right now? ROT Paradox says stress, anger, and sadness has an effect on the body and soul. It does. That is true. Yeah. Once you manage to get those in check, your body and soul will prosper and glow. Yeah. That's true. And you're working on it. I mean, you're looking at adding a lot of 15 pounds of muscle in a few months. Like, you're doing it too. You're very young, ROT. You're only 23 to have figured all this out. Guys, I was in my 40s before I figured any of this out. I'm very impressed with the kids these days. Dawn says, I also do that sometimes when I'm in fear or anxious. I tell my little self, don't worry, I'm here and I'll protect you. Nothing's gonna happen. And I become calm. Dawn, I don't know how you get in my head, but that is exactly what I say to my little self too. Doesn't it work? Isn't that awesome? I love going to my little and being like, did you know that you're the best? Did you know that you're safe now? Did you know that I love you more than you're ever going to understand? And that I'm always going to protect you. And then the more they hear that, the more they're like, oh, so I don't have to be in charge anymore. So I don't have to be trying to fix it. Yeah. So that's beautiful. Dawn, thank you so much for coming. What a treat. I love that. I go live every Sunday night at 7 Eastern. And feel free to hop back on next week. Dawn says it actually works. A few years back, I was afraid to sleep in the dark, and I started doing this, and I overcame a lot of fears. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. People don't believe me. They think I'm being silly or something, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. Because it's not you that's afraid, right? You're the adult. You know that you're safe. You know that there's nothing to be scared of, but there's a little part of you that's like, it's not safe. And then you're like, oh, you come here to me. I'll protect you. That's awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone who came. I'm going to be signing off. And if you want to hop back on next week, you're more than welcome. Please like and subscribe. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. What a pleasure it has been. I appreciate you. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Anthony. And thank you, ROT Paradox, for all these gems. I love that I'm finding like-minded people. Dawn's got the little self stuff. ROT Paradox is dropping all this wisdom. I think that's awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you for coming. And I will see you next week. Good night, Anthony. Good night, Dawn. Thank you, Miss Honey. Bye, ROT. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Have a great week.